Hello and welcome to the Wednesday preview for another week. Hayden King back with you. However, James Broadhurst unfortunately can't be with us this week. We've got some hot chasing action to look forward to in any case, though. We've got the Express Stake final on Friday down there at Mandurah, and then a couple of heats of the Sandi's Me Mum Memorial to look forward to on Saturday. So really looking forward to those. Let's get straight into it. Let's go to Friday first at Mandurah. And we saw these heats last week, and the heat winners are all drawn centrally: Robotnik, Sunset Mirage and Rex Hunter. Robotnik able to come from off the pace, Sunset Mirage and Rex Hunter leading all the way. Let's cast our eye back now to take a look at Robotnik winning his heat. He doesn't begin that well, and soon after the start he actually gets checked momentarily but quickly balances up, and when there's that pressure underneath with Disco Daisy just gently shifting up the track, bang, he goes around the outside, sweeps past, cornering, and sets up an unassailable lead with the rest disputing the placings. Disco Daisy able to hang on to second in the end as odds-on favourite, but it was all Robotnik on the run to the judge, and he comes here out of box number 4. It's not going to be easy though. He's a get-back run-on dog, and there's pace outside him with Sunset Mirage and Rex Hunter. They're drawn bang there right next door. How is it going to fare in those early stages? Well, you'd argue that Rex Hunter is the fastest beginner in the race, and he will need to lead to win a race like this because there's a lot of talent either side. You got Rip'n Tomahawk drawn down low. He was a little bit unlucky in his heat, found a lot of trouble behind Sunset Mirage, and was a gutsy effort to qualify. And out wider on the track, dogs like Stanger Fire and West on Odie, whilst they might not be so fast early, they can really balance up and hit top gear and show what they're made of, particularly West on Odie, who we saw run a bold race first up the other night, and he's going to be further improved from that, provided he doesn't get shuffled too far back and too wide from that box. He's going to be right in the mix, and you can't rule out even a dog like Disco Daisy. I know she was beaten as the odds-on favourite in the heat, but again, she's drawn low. She gets another opportunity. I think I would prefer to see her drawn out wide, but it's going to be hard to beat Sunset Mirage. I was pretty keen on him last week. Box number 5, inside the quickest beginner in the race, though, does not make it easy. There's got to be a lot to be decided in those early stages, and I think if you are having a play on the punt, you do need to be a bit price sensitive. It's really one that's going to come down to the odds for me, that Express Stake final. Let's swing over to Cannington on Saturday and look at the first heat of the Sandi's Me Mum Memorial. This is race number 6 on the program, and here we've got only a field of 6, as in truth both heats are, but there's plenty of ability. Out wide on the track, Hinto, who's been one of the preeminent dogs over this 520 journey over the last 18 months, even 2 years, and last week's surprise winner, Moment to Hustle. However, we're going to take a look at the replay of Columbus Manelli last week when he exited box number 1. He wasn't that quickly into stride, but going past the post for the first time, you see him rail up really hard and he finds the front. And for a dog that generally doesn't find himself in that position over this kind of trip, gee, he was going to be hard to beat from that point. He sets up a big enough lead, and mid-stages you're looking pretty good with yourself, and he's able to hold the initiative to the line and coast home to score. He's a dog that has always promised a lot, seldom delivered, but when we've seen those snippets of his best, he's been one of the dogs to keep an eye on here in WA. And again, he gets another opportunity at that on Saturday night. He's got Carla Cat up, who is a quick beginner outside him, went close to crossing last Saturday, and he's also got Moment to Hustle drawn underneath. So I doubt we can see him to the same effect as we did last week. I think Moment to Hustle's the likely early leader. Will that dog have enough up its sleeve to hold off the brigade of Inside Scoop and Hinto, who are going to be really strong out wide, and even Pudding Manelli, who's going to be bang there carting up behind Moment to Hustle? I think Inside Scoop was the dog that might have been a little bit lost on people last week. He was beginning to charge up and hit top gear past the post when he got shifted out wide and lost all momentum. I think he'll do enough to hold Hinto early as well, and he could be a one to really consider for this race, and I think he might be overlooked slightly by the betting. Others in the race, obviously it's a great draw for Pudding Manelli. Can we see him back to his best though? We saw a glimmer of that 2 starts ago at Mandurah. I just want to see it at Cannington as well, and it's always hard to overlook Hinto. But the one I really want to keep an eye on here is Inside Scoop in this first heat of the Sandi's Me Mum. Let's look at the second heat now, race number 7 on the program. And here, Crumble Manelli, a surprise defeat last week. He went around short odds, but we did highlight on the preview that there were a couple of factors that were not necessarily in his advantage, and unfortunately, they came to the fore there, and he wasn't able to get it done. He was crossed in those early stages by Moment to Hustle, and when that happened, it was virtually curtains for him. And given he'd been racing over shorter trips, the 520 was always going to find him out, and he did. I think he's going to be much better for having had that run, and I think he can lead this race, crossing over from Carter Axelrod. And there doesn't look a heap of speed out wider on the track. They're all good beginners, but there's no flying machines. So this is Crumble's chance to get back on the winners list here at Cannington. Can he hold off dogs like Weston Booney, who's always going to be strong at the end of these races? Solidified, is going to be strong. I actually really liked the run of Carter Axelrod last start, pushed off the track, and I thought he showed a lot of temerity to find the line there, and he could get a good cart up here on the back of Crumble Manelli, although some lengths behind. He's got to be pretty strong to the post. And then you've got dogs like Bungee Man. Bungee Man's got an addiction to drawing box number 7 at the moment. He just keeps coming up with the black rug, and then No Limit needed out in 8, who was really good to come off the canvas to score there at Mandurah last start. All comes down to the jump with Crumble. He should lead this race, and if he does, he's going to be the one to cut down, but I don't think you're going to be comfortable at any stage that he's going to have enough in the tank to get home. He may well do so, but he's going to be a dog that's gearing up for this 520 assault over the coming weeks. So I don't think we'll see the strongest dog, but we'll see a better dog than last week. If that's enough, I'm not too sure. Some interesting races, if nothing else, across Friday and Saturday at Mandurah and Cannington, and we've got some racing tonight at Cannington that I think is perplexing indeed as well. For my best bet, I'm going to race number 4, number 5, Girl Hill. This dog's been going okay. She just looked a little bit lost there first time out at Cannington, and then second start she was beginning to chime in on that first bend, and another that got hampered and hindered and pushed up the track slightly, and she did a good job to make up lengths there through the second part of the race, and I thought she was pretty strong to the line. If she can balance up close, which I see her doing, or even contesting the front into that first bend, she's going to be pretty hard to hold out. I think she's a dog on the way up. Race 4, number 5, Girl Hill. Well, that's a look at tonight and the coming racing across the next few days. Hope you're looking forward to it as much as me. That's it for another week on the preview. Catch you next week.